Hello there. In this video, we will try to figure out if we can install KASM on a Zima blade, on Zima board, and how it actually works on Zima board. If it works, then it's a pretty neat game changer to have KASM, a penetration testing laboratory on your Zima board that can fit in the palm of your hands. This video is created for educational purposes only, and it's also sponsored by KASM. So stick around to see if it is possible and how it actually works. I assume it should work great, but theory from practical things are different, so let's find out together. So once our installation of Ubuntu on Zima board has finished, then we can log in into our server by terminal. I created user Walters ID dot my internal demo test network, which is not available publicly as this is for demo purposes only, and our created password. So we are now logged in into our Ubuntu, which is hosted on the Zima board. Let's become a root user, and we are a root user. One thing I forgot to mention that, well, as you can see, we have 19 gigabytes free space left after the formatting of the swap and other things. But if you want to extend your disk drives, etc., you can get also from the Zima store the NAS setup, or you can use the USB external drive as well. I have used it previously on some demo purposes and it works perfectly. So to start installing our KASM, we need to go to Google. Let's navigate to KASM, and here single server installation. I will go with the standard installation, which is one-liner, so it is fully automated. And this whole tutorial, what currently I'm showing you, this whole tutorial, is basically for any person who doesn't have even IT knowledge can do this, because this is from A to Z step-by-step guide. And I think it's not so difficult or hard to do it. So once we have downloaded the KASM latest version, let's unzip it and let's start the installing process. So I have read user agreement. Always read user agreement to know what you can. That is really important stuff. So as you can see, everything happens automatically and I don't need to intervene. If you install the KASM on VPS and you don't have the swap, KASM always offers to create it for you so that you don't need to do it yourself, which is pretty neat, as KASM developers have invested a lot of time so that any user, even without IT knowledge, can set it up easily and start using it straight away. The installation takes a bit of time, so I will fast forward it. So the installation is complete. These all credentials anyhow will be removed because this is a specific created video, and the network where the device is hosted, it's inside my home network, which is not accessible from external networks. But anyhow, I need to blur them out. After the installation, always copy the credentials and save them in a safe spot. After the installation is complete, we can go to our browser and type HTTPS and go to our IP address to access the KASM. As you can see, it shows us that our connection is not private. Of course, the SSL certificate is self-signed and it's not trustworthy. Never trust this kind of certificates, but in this case, we know for which system it is, so we will trust it because this is our installed system and we know what it is doing. And here, ladies and gentlemen, we have KASM workspace installed on Zima server. Now let's log in, download some containers and test it out. So let's go to the registry, and as you can see, the registry is working, it's updated. You can add also other registries if you want, as KASM has now created this option. You can create your own registry with your own images and etc. But for this testing purposes, we will run Brave. Let's install it. And I would like also to run Kali Linux. As you can see, each image has sizes, and our 19 gigabytes of disk space will quickly fill up with the images that we are currently downloading, but this is for testing purpose. Attach the external drive to it. And our images is now downloading, so we need to wait for them to download. While they're downloading, let's install HTOP to see what's happening with our resources. As you can see, we have 7.6 gigabytes of RAM, from which 1.0.1 is now used. Swap is not used, and the CPU is currently holding really great, but it doesn't have like any large load. It only has Linux running, some Docker containers that are for the KASM, and downloading some Docker images. So we will see afterwards, once we start, let's say, 2 containers, what's happening with the CPU load. So I will get back to you once the images are downloaded and we can do some testing. Due to some significant amount of space that I didn't have so much space that I need, I canceled 2 image downloads. And anyhow, if you want to have only 2 to 3 images, then the default Zima server, Zima Blade, is enough. But if you want to host some more images, then definitely you need to have the NAS setup, or you need to have a external SSD drive, and then you can have some more space. So let's open our Brave browser and see how the Brave will work with KASM on the Zima board. So let's try to go to, and everything works fastly. It is maybe 1 millisecond lag, but it's not critical. But as you can see, everything works perfectly, no issues and stuff like that. So this is amazing. And let's assume that I now entered the medium.com and there would be some vulnerability that would be downloaded on my device. The KASM has protected me because that vulnerability will not be downloaded on my device. It will be downloaded inside the Docker container, which afterwards I can easily just take it and destroy it. But as you can see, with KASM works, everything's normal, no issues. So to get the installation of Ubuntu, I needed to remove also Brave because the Zima server doesn't have enough space. But let's try out the Ubuntu. Let's launch in the new tab. Those are my thoughts. Anybody has their own thoughts, their own theories, but my thoughts that this is a great concept. Only you need much more space on your device, but this is quite a great concept. As you can see, I'm currently running the Ubuntu and my CPU isn't overloaded or the RAM isn't like full to bucket or something. Let's say run some, I don't know, Chrome on the Ubuntu and see what great it does happens. As I mentioned before, I have tried to install the KASM on the Raspberry Pi. It is a bit different installation, different approach, but comparing to the Zima works much faster. You have better experience than on Raspberry Pi. I wouldn't say that the Raspberry Pi has the worst experience, but anyhow, on the Zima, we can feel it even much better. As you can see, quickly everything loads, opens, using the Ubuntu, and the CPU is still like holding normally. It's not like critically or something like that, and therefore we can run a lot of processes and stuff like that without any like worry currently. By adding everything else works normally. So you can see YouTube opens, everything works. There are no lags. And if we try, let's try the coders, Visual Studio, how it actually reacts, but I think it should react normally without any issues because, well, Visual Studio is just something like Notepad if you haven't installed any like modules and stuff like that. I will not go through the setup process. Let me try new. This is a test and it works without any lag. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. So yeah, this is custom solution on a Zima server. It's neat, it's fun. The only thing I mentioned is the space, but everything else looks like works properly. This video is sponsored by KASM. So this is KASM on a Zima board. As mentioned before, you can purchase external like USB drive and plug it in. I would suggest to do it before the installation, and you can move everything on the USB drive. You can mount it, glue it, or use the tape, not a sticky tape, but a special wire tape to hold them together easily. But keep in mind, if you want to do the reinstallation, you will need to have dongle because, well, again, the ports, 2 USB Type-A ports. And here is the SATA extension ports if you purchase the SATA bundle. Of course, you can go with SATA bundle, but then you need to keep in mind that actually you will have some larger thing to carry around, because SATA bundle, it's like bracket where you can store 2 drives. You can store SSD drives or HDDs. But I think this is the better solution to have an external drive connected to it, 3.1 USB, and you will not feel any lag because I have tried it. Everything works smoothly. Maybe in the upcoming videos I will cover it as well, so that you know how it works and how it looks. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you in next videos. As you know, if you like it, click like. If you like, subscribe. Depends on you. So thank you. See you next one. Bye-bye.